Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Dela Wellness Foundation. Okay, so today I have a super special guest with me. I have with me Rosemary. Rosemary, hey, how are you doing?
Hi, Dela. How are you? I'm
I'm
fine,
very good,
thanks.
thank you. I think it would be lovely if you could introduce yourself to everybody because obviously we are talking about relationships, wellness, your health, and all of that. That's all really very important to me. And I'm a great promoter of those things because I feel like anything good that you want to have has to start with you and how you feel about yourself. So even getting into any type of relationship with anybody, it starts with you first and how you feel about yourself before you can sort of join yourself to another person. So it's very much about wellness. And I know that's sort of your field, wellness, self-care, right? So maybe tell us a little bit
Yes,
about yourself and
exactly.
what you do.
Yeah. So thank you for having me. First of all, I'm super excited to share, a little bit, have a conversation with you and your listeners today. So I'm Rosemary, as Dela mentioned. I am a holistic business coach. So what that means is I work primarily with female entrepreneurs who want to start or grow their business from a place of passion that
Mm.
aligns with their lifestyle and goals. Because pretty much often we have our 9 to 5, then we have our passion projects, and those never really meet somewhere. The people consider a few lucky people who are able to turn their passion into profit and
Mm.
call that their career. But many out there think that that's not possible. And so my goal is to let that happen, help women find a business idea and grow their business in a way that brings, passion, impact, but also profit to themselves and to others.
Mhm.
And that merges really well with their lifestyle. So I am a mother of three, and I'm also a homeschooling mom for going into my third year now.
Oh.
And the reason why I'm adding that section is that I know a lot about organizing and planning your life around the kids and your family and
Oh,
not
yeah.
working in a business. It can be a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that to let women know that it is possible to have a thriving business and
Mm.
to also be there for your kids and for your family. And
Yeah.
so that is why I bring self-care, lifestyle, and business coaching together to help my clients and women really build successful lives on their own terms.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So you're there to help the masses. I actually really love that idea because I think often, especially as mothers, we don't know where to start. Sometimes we have these ideas in the back of our heads of things that we would like to do, but we just don't have a really good starting place. We don't know what to do next. And so, I mean, that's where you come in. And so that's pretty amazing to me. I love that. I love that. So, what made you decide to? Because I know you're doing a retreat, right? Which we are going to partner on, because it's all about
Yeah.
self-care and self-love, which I absolutely adore. And so, what made you decide to sort of do something like that? What made you decide to go that route?
Yeah. So to be able to explain that, I need to tell you a little bit of a backstory. So in 2012, I moved to Ghana. So for those of you seeing me for the first time, I was born in Germany, raised in Belgium my whole life. So I'm an Afropean, as they call it. And I moved to Ghana in 2012 to learn more about my roots, and just for working opportunity as well. And so going there for 6 months, after 6 months, I knew that I loved Ghana and I wanted to stay for good. So I packed up and everything, shipped everything, and lived in, called Ghana my home for the next 3.5 years. I met my husband there, got married. And after we had our first child in Belgium, when I came back here, I felt very much isolated.
Mm.
Isolated in a weird way because this is when I say this, so Belgium was a place I called home for my entire life. So,
Oh.
but yet when I came back, I felt very lonely and isolated. And I think what contributed to that was the fact that I was a new mom
Mm.
and a newlywed kind of still. So I
Right.
left as a bachelorette and
Mhm.
came back as as a wife and a mother. And that kind
Right.
of shifts your identity quite a lot. And I think
Absolutely.
most times men talk a lot about the identity shift of, they think they're losing their freedom, they're getting married, and you
Hmm.
know men talk a lot about that, but I think
Yeah.
women don't talk enough about that identity
The
shift
change.
or the
Yeah.
feeling of freedom that you're losing as a woman as well. And so I
Mm.
very much felt like that because I was really the type of woman that was out and about,
Yeah.
networking, you know, I had, I had things going for me. I was really happy. And obviously, when I got married, not that I lost all of that, but I think as a new mom, you understand, you're home with your kid a lot. You don't
Hmm.
sleep much. You're
Yeah.
happy if you can take a shower.
Those good days, yeah.
Yeah. And, so it's really lonely, especially if you don't have other moms around you.
Mm,
And so I think when I was with my first child, I joined this mother group in Belgium,
mm,
mainly composed of expat moms, so white women mainly, and it
mm,
was led by two midwives whose only job that Wednesday afternoon was to have a circle of mothers with their babies and ask them about how they're doing and how their baby's doing. And that was a lifesaver. The
mm.
chance to just sit there with other women and share what I was going through, the fact that I hadn't slept or whatnot, and realize that I wasn't alone was
Mm.
such a healing moment for me that I really looked forward to that 1 hour, 2 hours every week, even though it was pretty far from where I lived. And even in
Mm.
the middle of the winter, I would just grab
Yeah.
everything and go with my baby then.
Yeah.
And so when I was in maternity leave for my second child, getting ready to go back to work, is when I realized I love my job, but there must be more to life. What can I do to create an impact and something that I can look at for the future? What kind of career do I want to go into? And so I started brainstorming about what I wanted to do and listed the things I enjoyed. And one of the things I enjoyed was just holistic lifestyle, the
Mm.
healthy lifestyle, the wellness
Right.
space that really
Yeah.
much interested me. I
Hmm.
knew that I loved working with women, in
Mm.
particularly Black women,
Right.
and also travel. So I
Mm.
was working in the travel industry. I used to work from booking.com for 7 years. So that was the space I was working in. And I knew I loved traveling. I loved being around international people, spaces. And so I was like, that doesn't look like a job description. So what can I create? And so I
Uh-huh.
created my foundation, She Tribe. So
Ah.
She Tribe was the mother container that I created, which still exists, a community from women,
Mhm.
women of color, to bring them together around health, wellness, and just success on their own terms. And so that included monthly calls and brunches and a retreat. So the
Mhm.
first thing I created was a retreat. That's the
Wow.
first event. So I started in May 2018 is when I registered the business. And
Hmm.
in March 2019, I had the first retreat in Ghana at the Royal Senchi. So
Ah.
that's kind of the first event I worked towards. But before that, I did local events here in Belgium, and I saw that there was a thirst from women coming
Mhm.
together. Because
Right.
one of the things I learned from that mother group is that community is everything,
Mm.
but having a like-minded and community that represents you is even more powerful at that level. And so being with mothers was great, but their experience was not similar to mine.
Mm.
Most of them had the luxury, and I put really air quotes here, of being
Mm.
able to be stay-at-home moms at that time
Right.
and did not have the pressure of knowing that in a few weeks they'd have to go back to work
Mm.
and had to juggle everything. I was working
Right.
40 hours a week, and there was a lot of travel involved.
Mm.
There's pre-COVID times, right? And
Right.
so I knew, my baby being 4 months then, that I was going back to work, and I'd find myself crying in the bathrooms and
Oh, that's
at
very
break
real.
times and at work, and I was like so miserable. And so I knew that being an African, from the diaspora, there were layers of experiences that were just different to those of those women that were in the mother group with me. And so I
Mm.
wanted to create a container for women that were like me, not necessarily mothers at that time, but just women that were going through a similar journey and that identified with what I called either being Afropean or just knew that they were not like everybody else, that
Mm.
had they didn't really fit in. They didn't really fit in the group of their original country, like say the Ghana, for instance,
Oh,
they were not necessarily considered the Ghanaian girl,
yeah.
but they weren't also very much European or Belgian. They were kind of
Mm,
in the middle and
I get
were
it. Yeah.
embracing both parts and were
Mm,
proudly embracing both parts. And
yeah.
so that's kind of what I created. And then the first retreat was at the Senchi. And when I worked in Ghana, I had been going to the Senchi for work. And so I knew that if I were to ever host something in Ghana, Royal Senchi would be the place. So that's my
Right.
long story to answer
Yeah,
your
no,
question.
no, no, no. I mean, no, it's a wonderful story. It kind of gives us some background to understand how this came together, because I think that's an important part of the story. So thank you for sharing that. That brings a lot. And I didn't know you had the foundation, which sounds amazing, actually. I'm going to check it out because I love photography. I absolutely, really, really do. So congratulations for that. And the
Thank
Senchi
you.
is beautiful. It is such a nice, calming, relaxing place. I can absolutely understand why you've chosen that. So perhaps you can break down a little bit about what the retreat actually entails. What do people get from the retreat? What sort of things will be happening on the retreat?
Yeah. So when I created the retreat, and it has kind of evolved over time, but the whole idea was to give women the opportunity to take a week out for themselves.
Mm,
I used to call it, I think the slogan still is a honeymoon for yourself, basically,
mm,
taking the time out for yourself. Because most women, if they ever go on a honeymoon, is because they got married.
yeah.
But nobody will ever go on a honeymoon for themselves. I don't know a lot of people that would call it like
Yeah.
that. Go all lavish where
Mhm.
no costs are spared, where you come there
Uh,
and you're welcome with a glass and your room
oh,
has roses. You really only imagine that for when you're marrying somebody, but you don't
yeah.
necessarily imagine that for yourself. And I wanted women, whether they were married, would marry, or for themselves for whatever reason, to imagine being able to gift themselves. So there's something they were also getting for themselves, a whole
Yeah.
week of self-love, where it's like
Mm,
your own honeymoon for the
yeah.
sake of it.
Right.
And so it's really a week to take a step back from your life, from
Mm,
the hustle and the bustle, whether it's your career, your family, anything that's keeping you from being able to focus on yourself. And I think on a daily basis, even if you're really good at taking intentional time for yourself, it's
mm,
really hard to think about, 5 years from now, what do I want to do? 10 years from now, what do I want to do? You
mm.
need clarity of mind to be able to think that far,
That's
whether it's just making a decision in your life right now, whether it's staying married or not, whether it's starting a new career, whether it's moving to a different place or starting a new family. You need some time and space to think about that. And sometimes you also need to be away from the voices that influenced you. And so I wanted to create a container for women to be able to go away by themselves, for
yeah.
themselves, but
Mm.
to also be surrounded by like-minded women who are going through similar experiences. And I think most women, when they join the retreats, they think they're the only ones going through whatever they're going through.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
they get there and they're like, oh my God, your story could have been mine.
Yeah.
And these women are separated by oceans, by continents, but it doesn't matter because there's this connection. And I
Mm.
really would say I handpick almost, and God helps me handpick the women that join the retreat because they're absolutely fabulous. My retreat is not also one that you could just join because you have the funds for it. There's
Ah,
an application form. So I really love to connect with the women who want to join to understand what is the reason behind it, what are they
ah.
aiming to get, and also how I can facilitate this.
Mm.
So it's a 7 day retreat, 7 day, 8 nights, 8 days, 7 nights, sorry. Arrival on a Saturday in Accra. So the guests normally come from all different parts of the world, from Europe, from the US,
Mm.
some mainland Africa as well. And
Yeah.
so it's really a mix. And we arrive on a Saturday to allow everybody to just come from wherever they are coming from.
Mm.
This year, we're staying at the beautiful La Villa Boutique in Accra, which if you know Accra, you've ever been to La Villa, you know that that's the green
Mm.
oasis in the middle of the bustling town.
Right.
So it's really amazing. And on a Sunday morning is when we leave to the Royal Senchi. And it's a beautiful road, because you're going there, you see the monkeys. I don't want to give away
Yeah.
too much, but just the road from Accra going to the Senchi and then
Mm,
arriving on the Senchi grounds, driving through the driveway to go into the Senchi, all of
yeah.
that is like this anticipation of what's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
And if you've
Absolutely.
been there, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It is really
absolutely.
amazing.
Mm.
And every year I take women, I would never get tired of looking at the women as they experience this road, thinking, oh my God, Rose, where are you
Mm.
taking us? This is amazing. And so
Yeah.
at the Senchi, we're spending a Sunday all the way till Thursday there. And there's a
Okay.
various mix of activities. I like to call the self-love retreat is not a holiday per
Mhm.
se, like as spending a week by the beach or
Right.
by the pool. And
Hmm.
it's also not Ghana in December. If you've been yearning to go to Ghana to experience this whole party life,
Yeah.
then my retreat is not for you. And I'm completely okay saying that.
Hmm.
There will be some partying and tasting of the nightlife involved, but that is not the reason why I'm
Yeah.
hosting this retreat. And if this is what you're looking for, then the retreat is not for you.
Mm.
However, if you're looking for a space to pour into yourself for a week, and a week might not be enough, but you can do so much work in a week
Yeah.
that
Mm.
if that's what you're looking for, to work on yourself, to take time away, to also obviously be on holiday, to meet like-minded women, and to really gift yourself something that you've never done, then this retreat is for you. So we have a mix of wellness activities, also excursions, personal development. As I mentioned, I'm a holistic business coach, so there will
Mm.
be some business coaching elements involved
Right.
depending on the group type, because as I said, I will have a call with each of the women joining, so I will know what they're looking for.
Hmm.
Depending on what the group consists of, I will
Yeah.
tailor those sessions to them. And we will go back to Accra that Thursday night, checking back into Accra, where we will have various activities such as dancing, kizomba at Afriki Corner Thursday. I'm an avid kizomba dancer for many years. And dancing kizomba or any ballroom dancing has a way of bringing out your femininity out.
Yeah.
So that is really an exercise and something we get to do together.
Hmm.
Friday is a completely free day, Friday free day.
Okay.
And my guests tend to use that day to explore Accra. Outside of Accra, I've had years where guests go to Cape Coast, Kakum,
Mm.
Aburi. So it's really up to you, and I can help curate that for you, or I can direct you in the right direction to plan that yourself. Friday
Mhm.
evening, we get back together for a lavish three-course meal. And then we go out to taste the nightlife of Accra. So it's a full program, but allowing enough space for
Mm.
self-care, for relaxation by the pool, whether at Senchi or
Yeah.
at the beautiful uh, pool at La Villa, time
Mhm.
for shopping, doing your hair, really a lot of things to do. And I forgot to mention Saturday is the day we check out, but I normally take my guests to the local crafts market. So either it tends, we used to stay at a different hotel. And so we would go to the Dubois Center for
Right.
the butterfly market,
Hmm.
or the art and craft market, as some call it. And so that's a great way for you to buy souvenirs and
Mm.
things that are made in Ghana from the people who make it themselves, or at least
Yeah.
closer to the people who make it themselves, and in a way to give back as well and make sure that you're going back with souvenirs. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit about the program.
Okay. No, it sounds absolutely wonderful. And I think one thing that I really love about what you're doing is that for me, it's all about alignment. I think that when you're aligned with people that are like-minded or are going through a similar thing, you can draw strength from that. And so I love that aspect of it because sometimes, as you said, we feel like we are the only ones who are going through certain things. We feel like we're the only ones struggling maybe with business or struggling with, maybe imposter syndrome or something like that, And so being in a group of other women who are maybe experiencing something very similar to you, it gives you that edge to be able to kind of spur on and keep going. So I think the retreat is absolutely amazing, which is why I thought it would be brilliant to partner with you because I mean I'm going to enjoy it myself. you know I'm really really looking forward to it. I think time away is very, very important for your mental health and for just your general well-being. It's really, really good to do that because for me, when I went through my breakup, I needed to have time for myself in order for me to be effective to everybody else around me. Because I think as a mother, sometimes we take on so much and we don't realize that we've taken on so much, and we get to a point of complete exhaustion. And by that time, sometimes it feels like it's almost too late, like, it's just become too much. And so I think things like this just give us a moment to just breathe and just let you know that it's okay. Just take your time, you're doing well, and then, refresh you to be able to go out and continue doing what you're doing. So I think the retreat is wonderful. And I think anybody that goes in it is absolutely going to benefit from it. So I think it's an absolutely great idea. And I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Me
Yeah.
too. And one thing that yesterday I had a call with a past retreats guest of mine on my podcast, and she's a therapist
Mm.
going into psychotherapy right now. So I was telling her that people might think she has it all together, that,
Mhm.
oh, she has all the tools to take care of her mental health and blah, blah, blah. And
Mhm.
she's like, even she, because before being a therapist, she's a human first. And
Yes.
so she, at the time, joined the retreat. She had some expectations, but as she mentioned, it exceeded her expectations. And even as a therapist now, still, she's using some of the tools that she, learned there. Maybe she
Mhm.
knew them already, but knowing something in theory and
Yeah,
knowing something in practice is completely different. And she
absolutely.
says something like a yoga or
Mm.
meditation or meditative movement. She knew about all those things in theory, but until you're applying them to your life and you have experienced it yourself,
Yeah.
it will be different when you explain it to someone else. She said now when she's advising her clients, her patients, and talking with them, she knows that what she's suggesting, it's
Mhm.
it's it's worked for her as well, and so she
Yeah.
knows it will work for them. Obviously, everybody's different, but
Mhm.
it's a completely she can talk out of experience now.
Yeah, yeah, that's really important. I think that's completely correct. Theory and practical are two completely different things. So, yeah, I definitely understand that. So, what dates are the retreat?
So this year's retreat is hosted on from the 21st of September till the 28th of September.
Mhm.
One thing I'm doing that I haven't done recent years is allowing for local signups. So in the past, what we used to have is people, as I said, flying from different parts of the world,
Right.
and they could join, and that meant their package included everything except flights, as they're
Mhm.
coming from different regions. And
Right.
that meant the two hotels. So the stay in Accra for 3 nights and the
Mhm.
staying at the Senchi for 4 nights. However, this time I'm allowing local guests, so people who happen to live in Ghana or
Mm.
be in Ghana on holiday, on an extended holiday, and like, you know what, I'm already here. I do not need the stay in Accra, but I
Yeah.
would love to join for 4 nights at the Senchi because many people dream of staying at the Senchi,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it is quite expensive. Let's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
say
yeah.
it.
Hmm.
And going through the retreat package, well, they get to experience the Senchi and so much more for much
Mm.
more, return on investment, quite pricing wise, because this is a
Yeah.
full board retreat, meaning they
Mm.
get all meals as well. And so if
Mhm.
you do decide to join from Ghana, you will join us from the Sunday till the Thursday. So also, if you live there, you can't take time off work so much and you have kids and whatnot.
Mhm.
This is a more limited time that you have to take time off. So that will be 22nd till 26th
Mhm.
for locals. But if you're an international guest traveling from somewhere, then
Right.
you would have to arrive Saturday 21st and you'd be leaving Saturday 28th. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So I know you have given me a code that I can give to those that would like to sign up. So I'll put that into the
Right.
description box. But if they want a little bit more information about exactly what it entails, where can they find that? Was that on the
Yeah.
sign up?
Yeah, they can get that on the website. So the website is www.rosemarydede.com/retreats.
Okay.
And so I will share the link with you so you can put it in the description as well.
Hmm.
So what happens is when they click on that link, it takes them to the website where they can get all the information about the retreat. They can see the pictures of the location. They can see testimonials of past guests. written, but also video testimonials. They
Mm,
can see the rooms that they're going to be staying at the Senchi with the
right.
beautiful views. They can
Mm,
see some of the food they're going to eat. They really can have a feel of everything they need to know. Obviously, the
yeah.
pricing as well and what it includes.
Hmm.
And if they have any questions, there's a section where there's a questions and answers where I have answered a few of their most frequent questions. But if for whatever reason they go through the website and they're like, I still have some more questions, they can reach out to me directly via Instagram or via email. So Instagram is at rosemary.dede, or on the website, it's just contact at rosemarydede.com. Obviously, they can reach out to you, Dela, as well. You could just
Yeah.
send them my way. So when they go to the sales page and look at all the information, they can choose which package. So you can have a single room where it's
Mhm.
by yourself because you're like, you know what, I'm a grown woman. If I'm
Yeah.
paying for this, I want to have my space.
Right, right. Yeah,
And I want to be able to
absolutely.
indulge in it. And maybe if you snore, you're like, I just want to be able to snore in peace. And so, you have this room, this honeymoon room, basically all by yourself. That's that option as well, but it comes at a specific price tag.
Hmm.
And if you're like, I'd like to reduce some costs because you can still have this lavish package and still share the experience with someone. So it
Yeah.
could be with a friend if you're coming with a friend. But if you're
Hmm.
like, I still like to be paired, but I don't know anybody,
Right.
as I do the applications myself, I will pair you with someone and you will get
Hmm.
the opportunity to get to know that person before we get to Ghana. So we will have a
Right.
WhatsApp group, we will have a group call before that. So
Hmm.
those group calls are really to help us prepare mentally for the trip as well, for you
Yeah.
to ask your questions, to get to know each other, and can you build that excitement up a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I want to share the room so I can save a little bit, but I don't know anybody, that is no problem at all. We can do the pairing for you. And if obviously if you want to come with a friend, yeah, sure, why not? If you
Yeah.
do that and you both, share the room, you can sign up at the same time. You can get an additional 5% discount.
Okay. Okay. Little sneaky
Yeah.
discount in there. Nice. I like the sound of that. We like the sound of discount. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, well, I think we have all the information. I'm really looking forward to retreat. I will be there, hopefully for the full 4 days, as long as I can sort out my children and everything. I'll be there. So I'm really looking forward to partnering with you. This retreat actually means a lot to me. I think even for myself, I could do with the time out. So I'm definitely going to be making use of that. So it's going to be a
Yeah, I'm
wonderful time,
excited
I'm
to have
sure.
you.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely, definitely. Okay. I don't know if I've missed anything. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I think we've mentioned everything. If there's anything they need to know, once they check out the website, they'll find all the information. If anything comes up, they can just reach out to you or me
Mhm.
directly, and then we'll help them, whether it's with flights and
Yeah.
vaccinations, because people have questions about those sort of things. They
Yeah.
can find all that on the website, but they can reach out as well.
Lovely. All sounds wonderful. I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh
So,
yeah, and I did
uh,
forget to mention one thing. So there is an early bird discount of 15%, which is still available till the end of this month. So you have some time, ladies,
mhm.
that's 15%, which is quite substantial by
Yeah.
the end of this month. And the code for that is self-love. So
Okay.
at the checkout page, once you've gone through the application form, it will redirect you to the right page. So whether you're a local guest or an international guest, and
Mhm.
then you can choose between a payment plan. We don't have much time, but there's still an option to choose for the payment plan
Right.
or the full payment. And
Mhm.
then you just use the code self-love and you will get that discount applied immediately.
Lovely. Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to me today. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to spending some time with you, some one-on-one time with you, and being able to share with everybody and receive. So it's going to be a great time. I think if people really want to discover themselves and take some time out for themselves, I think this is the perfect retreat where people can do that. And so I
Yeah.
appreciate you organizing all of this and sharing with us today. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.